Hi everyone. Well, I just got a message from a friend of mine which I responded, and I'm being guided to come and speak about this with you all. And that's why the word speaking is on top here. So here we go. My beautiful, beautiful sister. I've known her, I think, a couple of years, something like that. And she reached out to me. She was actually paying me a compliment. It was quite cute how she went about it. But here's the thing is this. The reason why I'm on here to share this, because we all need, need, not a have to. We need to be consciously aware of other people's vibrations. And as I say this, it's not making other people bad or wrong or whatever, whatever. No, it's not about that at all. This is about us paying attention to ourselves, within our gut, our instincts, the greatest gift that the universe has given us all. But most of us were never, I know for myself, most of us would, that kind of knowledge and that kind of information was never spoken about or shared with everybody. And that because we're taught to act, say, do, behave a certain way, blah, blah, blah. And so, we were all born with this gut instincts, our intuition, our everything. We were born with this. It's innate in each and every single one of us. They say, and I'm not going to agree or disagree because I go through times and places and stages of my evolvement and evolution that I get it. Then there's times I go, no, why the fuck would I pick those people to be my family? Why would I choose this and choose that? And that's where, I think it's the ebb and flow of, sometimes, okay, I'm okay with that. And then there's times I'm not. I go, right? So, but the thing is, where I'm getting at is that, you know, we already came into this world, to this planet, totally, totally prepared with our gifts and our abilities. A lot of people, including myself when I say that, that, you know, and I can only speak from my own personal journey, that, you know, when my personal journey started, which is 1996, I did an interview the other day. The one thing I forgot to mention was that in 1996, I they found I had a tumor. The tumor ended up being bigger than a football. It was my left side of my ovaries, which caused me to have hysterectomy. And right after that, I lost myself. Because we already know that things that manifest within us is things that, because we never spoke about, we never acknowledged within us, it will manifest within us in many ways, shapes, and forms. And mine was a tumor. And so that was the beginning of me waking up. I just didn't have this understanding that I now have today. And as you know, I used to say I lost myself because what I knew I was, that version at that time, I lost that part of me. But I was waking up to me. And as I say this, when my journey started was, I started out with my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own emotions, mine. So I broke this cycle, this barrier that I had created to protect the core of who I am from the moment I came into this world. Because the people that were in and around me, it was not safe for me to be who I am. So I built these walls, these barriers around me to protect the core and the essence of who I am. So now here I am, all these years later, and I've always been, I start, stepping back into this, because I put my music away for about 13 years, and because of something that very devastating happened to me. It just crushed me. Didn't mean I stopped playing the guitar completely. No, I'm just saying that I put that part of me aside for a while. And then about 2015, I started to get feeling settled within myself, because I had a bunch of stuff that happened to me that, again, it just, there's always things going to be happening to us. Always going to be things happening to us. But I did not have this amazing community in and around me like I do today. My life and my world in the last 3.5 years has just been life altering. Because you guys have taken all the stuff that I felt and wasn't safe to talk about, you made it safe to feel. I get to understand this and that because of your guys' courage, your strength, your inner strength to speak truth, whatever that is for you. You guys have helped me to understand myself. That, no, I'm not crazy. You know, back in 96, with my journey, that, you know, that's where I got caught up in the Western medical system, because I did not have this in and around me. I did not have this in and around me, plain and simple. This kind of support I now have. So here I am coming home again. But coming home is bigger than, better than ever possible, because I am truly ready to start. And, you know, and this is how people can impact and imprint us all. And I've allowed some people, even in the spiritual community, I've allowed them in too much. It doesn't make them bad. No. I just have to be very, very careful, because not everybody in this community have that understanding and the consciousness, complete consciousness of their own action, behavior, conduct, how they think and they feel, how they operate. You know, it's just, you know, I was already getting signals from the universe. And I go in spaces where I just go, I can allow people in. And then something will happen. I go, okay, I need to back you off. Because when people disregard, especially when people disregard and disrespect my boundaries, it doesn't matter what you think you're going to do. Is that when I say I can't talk, and not because I'm not talking to people. See, right now I'm talking to you guys, but I'm speaking truth. I'm not sitting here to have to filter out what I say or how I express it. My conversation with Christine, Linda Christine, people won't call her Christine, but it's Linda Christine, right? You know, I was able just to speak. We had a conversation. But something she said to me afterwards, she goes, "You're just a complete channel." I said, "Yeah, I am." And when we're channeling, we don't have time to have a conversation about this or that, why this or why that. I can't do that. If you need me to hold space for you while you move through something, I'm able to do that. I'm able to do that. But, I'm saying the word but, you know, if you keep on choosing to do the same dance again, I have to shift. I'm not judging you. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. And this beautiful sister of mine, which is ours, all right, she sent me this beautiful message, and we have mutual 3 amigos that we know, and, you know, they gave her some advice that she has to be careful about who she has in and around her, meaning on the vibrational level. And I smiled when I was reading her comment, and she was saying what she's saying. She was saying to me, she's like, "Ernie, I'm able to listen to you. right? And I just honored her back, and I said, yeah, those three are the real deal. And then one thing that we all need to be conscientious about, pay attention. This is one thing I said to her, that's why I'm on here sharing this, is we can go into the brain side of ourselves and logically, realistically, justify this, justify that. What kind of friend would I be if I didn't check in on you? That's the thinking, right? Or somebody's being rude and disrespectful to us, and we go, well, they're really nice, they're this, they're that. Fuck that shit. Pay attention within and how, for me, and this is where I'm coming from, and I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just speaking my truth, whatever that is for me, based on my experience, my understanding, understanding. And how I always had these signals inside of me that I've always paid attention to, but again, I dismiss it a lot. But they mean well. They're going through a hard time. They're this, they're that. We always have these justifications in our brain. And if it's like that's where with me is that with my friend here, I said to her, you have to pay attention inside your gut. You don't need to understand. You don't need to say anything to anybody. Just honor yourself. And just doesn't feel right, you don't need to understand what it is. Just honor the fact is, whatever this person's speaking about, something's not right. So I need to be consciously aware of that. It doesn't make the other person a bad person or horrible or blah, blah, blah. No, no. But we have to pay attention to who we allow in and around us and how their vibrational self can affect us. And she was using the word like lower frequency. And I get it. Personally, I get it. And it's, that's where with my music, it comes from that vibration of higher frequency. I cannot do what I do if I'm not that. I am not perfect. I do my best to be clear with my boundaries with everybody, especially having conversations with people. I don't talk. Got a situation, if I have knowledge and experience, I will share that knowledge and experience with you to help you so you don't waste your time. But don't waste my time if I'm sharing my knowledge and my experience with you. Right? As if, like we can all justify in our brain. We can all justify it. But for me is, my time is valuable. Your time is valuable. And we have to pay attention to ourselves and to honor ourselves, because no one's going to honor us better than ourselves. People will walk over us. They'll take advantage of us, etc., etc., etc. They'll take advantage of us if we allow them to. I choose, when I'm aware of this, what's really going on, I will shift and change that accordingly for me, without judgment. And with my friend, when I said back to her, I said, you need to really pay attention. Don't doubt yourself. Don't get into the thinking brain. Stay in your heart space. And I'm saying that for myself as I say that to her. It's a reminder to myself. I'm saying this out loud right now with you guys to help you, to assist you to understand this and be conscientious about, am I thinking or am I in my heart space? Am I honoring truly how I feel? Don't try to justify. Don't think about it. Trust what you're sensing and feeling within you. And you think how many times that we've always had indications that, something's really off about this person or this group or that group. Like I have people inviting me to different groups all the time. But I'm being more conscientious now about accepting and going into a particular group. I find there's people that, my intention to join a group is to partake in that group. If you're sitting there just wanting to sell your stuff, and that keyword I'm using is selling. Come to my workshop, do this with me, do that with me. I'll teach you. There's certain languages and words that people use that now it really scares me. I call it the wannabes and willoughbys. And I don't mean that rudely or disrespectfully. I'm just saying there's a lot of people in their spiritual community who are wannabes. Well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Are you truly being called to do that? Right? Like when I say this, it's like with my music. I'm raw and vulnerable every time I come on here with you guys sharing my music. I never know what I'm going to play. I never know what's going to come up for me. Never know. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I just want to, if I'm being guided, come on here, hang out with you guys to express some energy. I'm going to do exactly that. If it helps somebody, resonates with somebody at that time, that's just friggin' awesome. In fact, it's fucking awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay. I was telling Linda Christine the other day, and because I chuckle, this person on my YouTube channel, last week I think it was, last week, at the beginning of this week, because it just floored me. I saw that somebody subscribed to my channel, then they made a comment. So I went and checked it out. This is the comment. Well, that was boring. I just went, what? Now, I could have gone many places on that. Because, it doesn't mean I didn't want to respond saying, well, why would you make a comment like that? If it was boring, just carry on. Don't say nothing. Like, well, why did you feel you have to say something? Because I didn't take it personally. Because it didn't speak about me, it spoke about them. And that's the whole thing. When people, I was accused in January of not listening, cutting them off and not having a dialogue. I'm not in dialogues to discuss all this little stuff about a process this person's going through which has to do with disability. I live in the same province she does. I know how it works here. I was on disability till I turned 65. I know how it works. Been there, done it. Got the t-shirt. But they feel, oh, I just got a letter from my doctor. That should do the trick. I said, no. Well, and they started with this discussion. I went, no. You can do whatever you want to do. I really don't give a shit. And then politely, I was saying to her, stop wasting my fucking time. I made it clear, I'm talking from experience. But if you're not willing to listen or to understand, like, no, don't waste my time. If I don't know, I'll state so. I don't know. I don't know. But when I do know, I don't have time to sit here and it's just where I'm at. And everybody knows the process I've been through in the last 6 months of coming off all these medications, right? And this person knew very well, because I made it sure when I first physically met them that she knew this, right? And I don't mind people saying to me something, right? But you know, and what I realized through this process, 'cause I'm still processing it, because it doesn't have, processes don't happen like that with me, and I don't think for most of us, it takes time. It's like, you know, even this past weekend, as intense as things were with me, I need to go back and reread that text messages back and forth. And I'm reading what she said, and I'm reading what I said, and it just like, she's in a whole different planet, completely different planet. She's so still in the brain part where I don't go there, I go in here. I have knowledge, then it becomes channeled. I have my experiences, which is channeled. I cannot speak about things that I don't know, or if I'm not aware, or I may make suggestions. And this is the thing is, you know, I find it quite fascinating that you know, with me is that I mean what I say what I mean. We can, in our own brain, go, well, I'm your friend, so I don't have to listen or have any regard for your boundaries. No, you do. Because if you don't, you're going to see a side of me. It doesn't mean I'm going to have to be an asshole, but I will not engage with you. I'll be abrupt. Yep. And I won't say anything. Because it gets to that point with me when if I'm dealing with somebody who's not capable or able to really listen and hear what's being said. And then I'm being accused of being an asshole? No. Right? I'm a problem solver. I don't have time to keep re-immersing into stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. We need to get to the core what's going on with each and one of us. I know for myself. And when I say this is that when after I finish sharing the process I've been through in the last year, it's coming up towards a year. Actually, I think I'm in the year now. Of my inner expansion, and going to Soulful Fest last year was the best thing I could have ever done for myself. And that was the first time in 32 years I had ever done anything for myself. Yeah. And when I started to realize this, you know, a day or two before I was leaving, and I realized, I went, oh shit, I'm going to be around people. I'm an introvert. I'm a hermit. And I love being an introvert. I love being a hermit. You know, I had to stop working on the outside world back in, 2011. Yeah, roughly around 2011. 2010, 2011. I couldn't do it anymore. So I went on disability. And because I couldn't function. You know, the games that people play and the mind fucking that people do. You know, like, I stay in my own fucking lane. I don't project. Because, and here's the thing about people. And I've had, as I've been growing for the last 3 years, you know, 2 years, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right down to now, is that I've had people, and we will always have people trying to dim our light, accusing us of being troublemakers because we speak our truth, know our rights, etc., etc. And I remember this one time, I worked for a commercial janitorial supply company in Nanaimo, BC. And my boss at the time, you know, that's all I'm going to say. Just as I'm sitting here, just that pause was thinking about the owners to the store manager and just what I was dealing with. But here's the thing is I can't help my light. I don't want to dim my light because it makes you fucking feel uncomfortable. Because you want me to lower myself. You want me to go in the back room and hide behind a closet. because you want to shine yourself, right? And I had the store manager one time. She was waiting on a customer, and we had this huge counter with 2 desks behind the counter with the filing cabinets. And I was at my desk because she had her desk beside me, and I had my desk. And and she was waiting on a customer, and they came up to the counter to do the final part. And the customer looks over at me, I look over at them, and when I look at somebody, I look at you. And I go, "Hi, how are you?" They go, "Good." So what happened was we still ended up having a conversation while she's writing up the order. When the customer left, she comes over to my desk and leans down on me and says, "Don't you ever interfere with me when I'm with a customer." To belittle me as if I did something wrong. And I went, wow. But what I knew that I did nothing wrong, because the reason why I was so damn friggin' good at customer service, customer relations, because I was genuine, not phony. "Oh, hi, how are you today?" You know, I'm going to try to say her name correctly. Jana. I think it's Jana. We just found out today the official dates for Soulful Fest, which is December the 8th to the 10th in Houston. Place, venue, everything's already confirmed. Done. Those are the dates. And we were getting when it's going to be mid-August to early September. But now we know. And Jana said to me, she can't wait to have my hug. Because when I got to Soulful Fest last year, we were there 24 hours later than we were supposed to be. Arriving in pitch black, relying on GPS to guide us wherever the hell we're going. Up in the mountains, in the Ozark Mountains, at Mulberry Mountain. And didn't realize until we were there that we arrived at the stage. And one of the first people I recognized, Delia right away, and I'm blasting the horn, put the car in park, I got out, and gave Delia a huge hug. And Jana was there, gave her one as well. And when she said about she can't wait herself to have my hug, because it was a genuine hug. I'm a bear hugger. If I can't give you a bear hug, it just means I need to protect myself because you're not real. Well, I'll take that back. Sorry, universe. It's not safe. I think that's a better choice of words, energy-wise. And I said to her, yeah, I can't wait to give you one of my hugs. Because now I've gotten to know her ever since Soulful Fest and her husband. And so then now there's a closer connection. So this time, because, and yeah, because I met a lot of people who really know me because I'm more here. You guys get to see me. A lot of you guys, I only see you in Facebook land, meaning your bio picture, for example. I know you in Facebook land. And that doesn't minimize or take away from you as an individual. It just means that's how my association, even with Julie Perjan, I hope I said it correctly, her last name, that, she comes out, hey, it's Julie. And I'm looking at her like, huh? But if she would have taken her Facebook bio, put it there, I would have made the connection. That's just how I operate right now. But now that we've met, I know who she is. It took me till I came back here to realize who she was. It's quite funny. And she knows the story because it's not being rude or disrespectful. It's being honest, but it's being said and expressed with love and honesty. And, You know, I can't wait to go back to Soulful Fest this December. Got 6 months to wait, but that's okay. It's going to be an amazing 6 months. Because now that I know when Soulful Fest is, it's going to allow me the freedom now to do whatever the concerts and everything I want to do beforehand. And also start setting up stuff outside of where I live. I need to do stuff locally here to create revenue, right? And it's, but that's the thing with me is I think there was 4 or 5 people that were in that little group when I got to Soulful Fest last year that I got to hug right away. But I give hugs. I don't go, hi, you know, little, hi there. I can't do that because that's not really who I am. If I'm going to give you a hug, fuck, I'm going to give you my bear hug, which means all of me. I heard Dr. Joe and Lisa Marie did a live earlier today. And go check it out on Dr. Joe's profile, or I'm sure Lisa Marie has it on her timeline as well. But Dr. Joe was talking about the exact same thing. When he gives a hug, he gives it all. Not this, oh, hi, oh, hi. Oh, how you doing, dear? You know, I find it quite hilarious too, and I'm speaking for myself, right? Is that I've had people in this community. I have a name. My name is Ernestine, or Ernie, not Ern, or Ernest. Ernestine or Ernie, I'm good with either or. But you always hear me introducing myself as Ernestine. So there's no mix-up in who I am as meaning a female, because I have people in the past who say, are you male? No, right? And I literally reclaimed my name back about 2015, something like that. Because before that it was always Ernie, 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 Ernie. And I started to realize within me that, no, I like my name. And so I reclaimed it. And I told everybody, start calling me Ernestine. And it's only in the last few months, you know, that I say it's okay to call me Ernie now. Certain people will be Ernestine. You're damn right. It's a sign of respect. It's a sign of regard. Soul family, Ernie's okay. People who have respect and regard for me, Ernie's totally okay. But if you do not respect me, it's going to be Ernestine. Plain and simple. I deserve respect, as do you. We all do. But this is how I flow now. And, you know, we have people who will try to tell us, you know, well, aren't you being self-absorbed, self-centered? You're being selfish? My word is, isn't it about fucking time that I'm self-absorbed, self-centered, and care enough about myself? I come first, not you, not anybody else. I come first. And I just had somebody, oh, okay, I'm not sure exactly who's on here. They just said, I've had a hug from Dr. Joe. He's a love. And it just means he gives it all. He hugs you. I hug people. And I'm learning for myself, you know, about just honoring myself, respecting myself. Because, you know, there's been always a saying out there, you have to teach people how to respect you, which is true. But I need to teach myself how to respect myself first, with my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own emotions, and stop worrying about other people, putting other people's feelings and emotions before my own. That's compromising me for the sake of somebody else's. feelings and emotions. What about mine? What about my feelings? So it's like saying to somebody, you don't matter. I'm sorry, I do fucking matter. And I'm caring more about myself like I've never cared about myself before. Because I do matter. And I don't give a sweet fuck about anybody. It does not mean I don't care about other people. If I said something or did something to somebody personally, and I will check in with myself, I'll go through stuff within me. And give you a great example. Oh, a few years back, I'd say the last 3 years. Tell you a little bit about my history. I was in the military when I was really young. And we had a summer program every summer. And we would take students to provide a job for them for the summer. And I was one of the instructors. And the one thing is, there's rules, regulations, you must abide and adhere, right? There's consequences for your actions. And with these, there was, and anyway, this young girl in the last 3 years reached out to me just to let me know how much I hurt her. She's one of the students. But when I read her comment, I could feel it. It wasn't, you're such a bitch, you're this, you're that. It wasn't that. She just spoke her truth, which I can feel is truth. And when I read what she wrote, my heart sunk that I hurt her. And I know who the other person is that I hurt. And if I ever come across that person, I will apologize to them. But I had with this young lady who had the courage enough to let me know. And all I did was respond back to her saying, I am so sorry. Because I meant it. I said, you did not deserve that, what I did to you. And for you to carry this all these years, that was not okay that I did that to you. She came back to me and she just said, thank you. And then I responded back and I explained to her that I'm a different person than I was back then. I was not aware of my own behavior, conduct, and how it affected others. I was born and raised with an alcoholic, dysfunctional family. And I just projected what I was taught. And you didn't deserve that. Her response back to me was, me too. I hear you. That's the only conversation with her I've ever had. We don't need to talk anymore than that. I don't need to explain or justify fuck all. But I will own my own part without excuses. But I also want her to understand that I did not know any different then. And my own lack of control of myself. And how I projected that, trying to have control with others, and the military was part of it. And she didn't deserve that. I know that now. I did not know it then, because I was not connected to myself or allowed myself to understand this, because, I had these walls, these barriers built so incredibly tight around me to protect me, because I thought I had to act and say, behave a certain way in order to be accepted, to fit in. And And that's the thing, when they say we're a product of our past, we are products of our past. But it depends how we choose to understand within ourselves why this, why that. Start making changes. We have to make changes. It's like with people, like, and this is one thing that I've learned, even in the spiritual community, we all connect with each other at different levels, right? But I thought that, I used to think, I'll put it that way, that because we're soul family, like, we'll get together a little. No. The truth and reality, we're all on our own journeys. I want to meet people. But what I'm realizing, I just don't need to meet every spiritual person I come in contact with. I got somebody that I've known for over 3 years that lives literally not even a half hour away from me. She lives in Chilliwack. I know at a higher level that her and I will meet when it's time. She wants to record with me. She's coming to my home. And I don't allow people to come into my home anymore. But I will allow her to come in this one time when it's ready and it's time for us to connect. But I don't need to meet her. There's another beautiful sister that I just realized in the last 6 months, a year or something, that she lives like a half hour the other way, right? And she said something to me, and when she said it, I knew it was true. She goes, Ernie, I know we're going to meet, but she goes, I feel it's going to be like on the meditational side when we do actually physically meet. And I got exactly what she meant. I went, yep. And it really caused me to really evaluate myself, like as anxious as I am, because I want to connect with people. But not everybody that we meet, that there's that going to be that amazing connection. That's the truth and reality. Got a helicopter nearby, flying actually right over top. You know, I'm learning because to be in this journey is a very, very lonely journey that we're all on. But what I realize that I need to be alone to do this inner work. I've, when I say this, um, I'm very selective in who I speak with now. Very, very selective. I need to be. Especially with people who try to go, oh, I have high vibe this, high vibe that, and all this stuff. And yet I know about their personal lives. I can feel it. And here's the thing about my abilities, me understanding my gifts and abilities, why I sense and feel the way I do about people. There's no facade with me. I don't need to put a facade on. I'm not going to try to pretend that I'm this or that. Like anybody who's been following me for any period of time knows that about me. That I don't try to pretend to be more or less. Now, if you have anything beyond that, I'm not responsible for that. I'm only responsible for how I show up here. As most of you guys know, usually on a daily basis, as I am. Usually share my music, not so much talking, but for some reason these days I'm doing a lot more talking, which is fine with me. But I need, when I go to talk about something, it's just like with Linda Christine on Wednesday when, we recorded her podcast, but I didn't realize she also has a YouTube channel, which is Linda Christine, which I now subscribe to. I did not know this. And because I thought we're just recording a podcast and find out it's no. We actually did go live in the end, right? And it was actually her and I. And it was just like, it was magical, but it's like, I'm like a channel. I'm not like I am. I'm going to rephrase that. I am a vehicle that channels all the time from my heart, from my soul. taking my life experiences and my understanding to understanding and coming on here and sharing to the best of my ability. I'm not able to speak on levels that many people are able to speak about. I only speak on my level that I know and I'm comfortable with. You know, it's, you know, to me, I think that's why I've so resonated with Susanna Mara, Todd Medina, Dr. Joe Delaney, Jay Grader, like all these amazing, incredible people, because they just don't do a lot of talking. They actually do the walking. You know, and it's like, if I give you a hug, man, I'll give you a hug. If I don't, you know, it's just, I don't know any other way. If I can't give you an honest, warm, loving hug the way I do, which is a bear hug, you get all of me, right? It's difficult for me because it doesn't, it's just difficult for me. Especially me opening up to myself and opening up my heart to myself. And because of you guys, I've gotten to be able to do that for myself. None of us are on this journey alone. And that's where, you know, I've had so many people, which I've gotten to know, and I still don't know some of you guys, really, but I'm getting to know you. You know, there's a beautiful, I'm finding that a lot of us are coming out of the woodwork, I could say. I've always been sort of public, like Susanna Mara has been, Dr. Joe and Todd and etc. You know, just we're very public because we show up and we do our best to operate from within. And that's like with me, it's learning and trusting this part of myself, because the more that I understand and understand myself, and it's like, you know, when Susanna Mara said to me over 2 years ago, yeah, about 2 years ago, like, you're an alchemist. I said, no, not me. Yeah, you are, Ernie. But she planted the seed. I'll know the rest when it's time. In August of 2021, it was time. Yeah. And I phoned my dear longtime friend Deb and said, okay, I need to talk about this. So through that conversation, which only took half hour, I could feel it. I know I get it. You know, no, I get it. I am an alchemist. And I'll own that. Because I've literally embodied that part of me. It's like, you know, when Spirit gave me that my name, Soulful Guitarist, back in late 2017. And I felt it resonated with my music and everything that I do. But did I really, truly embody that? No. And that's happened, I think, after I really embodied that I'm an alchemist, or acknowledged that I'm an alchemist. Then I really started to really, you know, this looper has, like I mentioned before, it's opened me up to myself. And it's shown me, like when I play music and I'm channeling, it's always talking and showing me. And that's where you now me saying, I am the soulful guitarist. I am. I am soul. I am soul. And I honor this gift and ability that I do have to channel the way I channel. And I just want to keep on nurturing it. I want to keep on opening up to myself on this aspect of myself and understanding to understanding, and allowing this music to keep on flowing out of me at such great depths today, more so than it ever has. more so than it ever has. And the more I step into this, the more I get to see more like just how fucking amazing I am. And I do have a lot of wisdom. But they're all the answers. Fuck no. And that's why it's all of us. You know, Dr. Joe, Todd Medina, Jade Raider. She's not very well known in our community. I'm going to try and encourage her to get a little bit more involved, because I'd like for you guys to know this amazing woman. If you go back and look at Soulja One Studios on the YouTube channel and look for an interview back in, I think it was January of 2020 is when Jay was on with Todd. And, you know, you'll get to know Jade. She's the real deal. Right? There's so many people that I physically have met, and I'm just starting to get to know them. You know, I'm not, we're all knowledgeable in different levels in different areas. No one's person I don't believe has everything. We all do collectively. And that's why we're coming out of the woodwork. You know, I remember when Lisa Marie found me, it's been about a year, and she had reached out to me, and then we ended up having this conversation right away. And it was an amazing conversation. And it's just, she's pure light, as I am pure light. And that's what I'm starting to recognize, is that we are all aspects of many things. I'm not talking about the human side. I'm talking about Jesus, Mary Magdalene, you know, all the goddesses and Greeks and everything else. We are all many things that we have a fractal of them within us. My music, do I know exactly where it comes from? Every single one of the songs? I cannot answer that. But I also know that it's coming from someplace incredible. So I'm channeling this energy as they do, but some people are conscientious and conscious of who it is. Like my beautiful, beautiful friend slash sister, Sarah Jane Walsh. She's always been connected to Jesus and Mary Magdalene. She damn near died in September of 2021, I believe it was. And she made a deal with Jesus. So she now has embodied Jesus. So there's no separation from her and Jesus, and she's doing Jesus's work. And a lot of people who've embodied different aspects of whatever energies that it is, they're doing the work for them by being on this earth now. And like I'm in awe of these people that I've met and connected with, and they're aware of these aspects of themselves, and like I know that there's gonna be stuff coming in for me, and it's just me getting my own way and allowing this energy to come in where I'm more conscientious. It's like I call them the three amigos, which is Deb and Rick Purcell and Phil Burrows. And Deb said to me, "Do you know you're angelic?" She said this to me about 6 months ago, I think it was. I said, "No." She goes, "Yeah." And with that has, you know, here we go planting seeds. She can't tell me I am this or that. She, you know, she let me know that I am or that, because the angels want me to know this, right? And what I'm starting to realize, that's why I'm drawn and attracted to angelic people all this time. I just didn't realize it. So here's all these incredible angelic beings that we're walking around here in human form, but we are this amazing, incredible light that we are. And I'm not, and for me, like, yes, I can feel the angelic part in me now, and I'm working on that part of myself, to recognize that within me. And it's me just getting the hell out of my own way. We could use the word surrender. That's hard for me. Because of that sense of needing being in control. But I'm also learning to trust myself at a level I've never trusted myself. And, I know I'll get there. We usually don't have helicopters flying over it. Well, that could be a plane. Anyway. So I'm literally coming home to myself, opening up more and more. I'm just so grateful. We have to be extremely careful, pay attention within of who and what we allow in and around us, including the spiritual community. Now I know that when people say to me, come to my course, I'll teach you, I'm going to fucking run. No. You cannot teach people this. We all have our own process of this. Coming into understanding self-awareness and understanding more about ourselves. You know, it's, I think we're fucking amazing. I think we're fucking brilliant. And I know I can only speak for myself that I've come this far. I look back now and I can just see all this stuff that's been happening to me. I've always been guided. I just didn't understand, make that connection. But now I understand it. Now I'm working with that and paying attention to that. I think that's the thing for all of us, is to pay attention, learn to trust ourselves within ourselves. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about that. And that's where the old program is that, well, I must think of other people before myself. Bullshit. Think of yourself first, and those who really truly care about you will fall in place. If they don't, they will just fall away. Right? Don't live your life based on expectation. You'll set yourself up every time. If you expect somebody to act, say, do, behave a certain way, you're going to hurt yourself because you're projecting, expecting them to be this or that. Don't expect me to be any more or less than who I am. I am who I am. I learned, I remember when I was in counseling in the late 1990s, and my counselor was the one that helped me to point that out to me. How I was hoping, wishing that my family would see me for me and love me for me. They're not capable or able to. But more importantly, that I saw me and I'm loving myself. That's what really matters. And starting to get my head out of my arse, you could say, or out of the bucket of sand or whatever, and give it a good shake. It doesn't mean beat myself up. I used to set myself up continuously. Got hurt again and again. And I start changing that. And, and I think that's where we're all coming consciously aware of all of this. But on that note, I've been out here just about an hour. I just sort of let the energy flow wherever it's going to flow. Anyway, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening now or later. Hugs and loves, everybody. Just pay attention to yourself and don't worry about anybody else, please. You do matter. Okay, hugs and loves.